You know how they say pressure makes diamonds? Well, Tropshop came about as a result of years of built up pressure in the Caribbean fashion industry and, well, in my life at the time. My background is in Caribbean fashion. I've been involved in it for over 16 years. I started as a model, was an ambassador, coordinator, facilitator over the many years as the opportunities would have presented themselves. And during those experiences, I realized how challenging sometimes it was to get access to Caribbean fashion and Caribbean fashion talent. And in my travels as a model, my wardrobe would consist of pieces from designers from all across the region. Barbados, Dominica, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, the OECS. And I would always encounter people who were interested in the pieces that I wore and then by extension interested in the Caribbean aesthetic. And it would always be a very long, convoluted conversation about how to get the interested person in contact with the Caribbean designer, then get the money to the Caribbean designer, and then get the product back to the interested party. And this probably occurred more times than I can count in over like 16 years. And the conversation hadn't changed much up until recently. Coincidentally as well, over the last 3 years, I've been a part of a fashion organization called Fashion Focus in Trinidad and Tobago, which is set on bridging gaps in the Caribbean fashion industry and moving the business of fashion forward. And that's where the pressure really was laid on thick. That's where we realized how far advanced the world of fashion was and how much further we still had to go as a Caribbean region. But I would say that ultimately my personal life is what catapulted me into the birth of the Tropshop.com. I spent 2 years of my life underwhelmed by my legal career and needing to get back in touch with my passion. So after quitting my job, moving out of my apartment and spending months in isolation, questioning and exploring what my purpose in this world is, I found my way back to my foundation as a model, back to my foundation in fashion. But this time I wanted to give back something more than just my appearance to the industry. So I decided to focus on the area of fashion that I had always had questions about, which was the area of e-commerce. I had always asked, or more recently I had always asked, why don't designers take credit card payments, or how do we make designers more accessible to the world at large? And because I could not stop thinking about it, I just researched it and researched it and researched it until I could find the answers to the questions that I had. But I would say in particular this period of stillness, exactly 1.5 years ago, I determined that my purpose was to take Caribbean fashion to the world, and as I had been doing inadvertently for years. And because I am the type of off the edge, no is not the answer, there is always a way type of thinker, I took on the task literally of taking the Caribbean to the world through e-commerce and built this platform. I no longer wanted to ask questions about how to solve the problem. I didn't want to talk about the problem anymore. I just wanted to get towards solving it. And so this diamond came about, the Tropshop, short for tropical shopping. And can I tell you, little did I know the magnitude of the journey that now lies ahead of me and my Tropshop team. So the problem that I needed to solve was clear to me. I wanted to give the average Joe designer and fashion entrepreneur the opportunity to accept credit card payments from across the world. Simply put, and a story close to home for me, I wanted my best friend, her name is Shanika, who is a tie-dye designer of resort wear. I wanted her to be able to sell to an English lady sitting in her mittens and winter coat, drinking coffee, trying to get warm back in England, and in search of warm thoughts stumbles across Shanika's page and is interested in buying her piece for some trip that she's thinking of taking to Bora Bora, to get away from the cold. But I also knew that in providing this platform, I would have to solve the issues of shipping the items from the Caribbean to the interested customers around the world. But more importantly, and I think this is the exciting part, I wanted there to be a place where that same English lady could return to the platform to see what else in Caribbean fashion there was that she would be interested in wearing on her Bora Bora trip, or what else she would like to buy. And so I created a one-stop shop, a department store for Caribbean brands and fashion entrepreneurs to find Caribbean fashion in one place. The solution is the Tropshop.com, which is a multi-purpose platform that caters to both fashion customers and the fashion merchant. We created a platform that makes Caribbean fashion easy to find and accessible to all who are enamored with the Caribbean aesthetic, while simultaneously giving the designers, talent, fashion entrepreneurs the platform to create an e-commerce solution for their businesses, bringing them in line with the way of the world, the way in which the modern fashion world is moving. In addition to that, we want to provide guidance to our fashion designers, assist them in marketing solutions, getting the word out there, promoting their brand, and then solving the industry's problems one step at a time through economies of scale and building the industry of Caribbean fashion. The success, we've successfully created the platform and launched it. The organic response has been overwhelming and surprising. I mean, like, I knew there was a problem to solve, but when you're close to something, you worry about what the reception would be. I know you guys out there know this. And we've had a great response. We've had merchants writing to come on board from other Caribbean regions and the diaspora. And in addition to that, we have been doing the #1 goal, which is processing sales, because everybody wants to have a sale. But with the little milestones that we've had, I will not sit here and tell you that the upkeep of an e-commerce site is easy. You know, as your parents would say, when you fix one thing, a million other things need fixing. Well, that's exactly what this journey feels like. I'm constantly forced to adapt, problem solve the challenges of the lack of an e-commerce culture in the Caribbean. But it's a challenge that myself and my team has proudly accepted. We are the type of there's always a way, no is not an acceptable answer, and our relentless determination to move an industry forward will make the Tropshop.com on par with international e-commerce fashion websites, and by extension, it will take our people, our talent, our culture, and our Caribbean flavor to the world. So guys, keep shopping.